Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds threaten the press over their relationship. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are Hollywood royalty, a couple so charming, so effortlessly funny, that they've convinced the world they're the perfect match. But what if the real story behind their romance isn't as squeaky clean as it seems? The official narrative says they met on the set of Green Lantern, became best friends, and only fell for each other after their previous relationships ended. But dig a little deeper, and things start looking suspicious. A deleted tweet from a journalist claims they got together while Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson, and that their teams allegedly shut down the story before it could ever go public. If true, this means one of Hollywood's most beloved couples may have used their power to threaten the press into silence. But how much truth is there to these claims? Did Blake and Ryan really cross a line? Or is this just another case of Hollywood gossip gone wild? Let's break it all down. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have perfected the art of Hollywood romance storytelling. They've told their love story in countless interviews, painting a picture of two friends who suddenly realized they were meant to be. According to them, their romance blossomed organically and ethically. After they both found themselves newly single in 2011, their version of events? They went on a double date, but with other people. Ryan was with another woman, Blake was with another man, but the chemistry between them was undeniable. Ryan has even joked that it was the most awkward date ever, because by the end of the night, they both realized they should have been on a date with each other instead. It sounds almost too perfect, like something straight out of a rom-com. But is that really how it happened? Because if you take a closer look at the timeline, things start to look suspicious. Green Lantern, the movie where they met, wrapped filming in August 2010. At the time, Ryan Reynolds was still very much married to Scarlett Johansson, and Blake Lively was publicly dating her Gossip Girl co-star Penn Badgley. In fact, Ryan and Scarlett didn't officially announce their separation until December 2010, and their divorce wasn't finalized until July 2011. Meanwhile, Blake and Penn only confirmed their breakup in October 2010, just 2 months after Green Lantern finished shooting. But here's the interesting part. Multiple sources say that Blake and Penn actually broke up months earlier, but kept it a secret to maintain the public image of their show's on-screen romance. So let's break this down. If Blake and Penn were already unofficially over in early 2010, and Ryan and Scarlett's marriage was falling apart behind the scenes, that means Ryan and Blake's "we fell for each other later" story starts to look a lot more like damage control than reality. And it's not just the timing that seems off, it's also the immediate intensity of their relationship. Just a few months after Ryan and Scarlett announced their split, Blake and Ryan were spotted traveling together, staying at luxury hotels and looking very much like a couple. By October 2011, less than a year after Ryan's divorce was made public, Blake had already moved into his home in Bedford, New York. Fast forward to September 2012, and they were married in a super secret wedding in South Carolina. In Hollywood, relationships move fast. But this fast? The fact that Ryan and Blake wasted no time building a life together suggests that their feelings for each other might have started a lot earlier than they publicly admitted. So, was their love story as clean-cut as they claim? Or were they just carefully controlling the narrative to make sure their reputation stayed intact? And if so, how far did they go to keep the real story buried? Now, let's take a hard look at the timeline, because this is where things start to get messy. If we follow Ryan and Blake's official story, their relationship didn't begin until after they were both single. But let's compare that to the actual dates of their breakups, their film schedules, and what people around them were saying at the time. Filming for Green Lantern lasted from March to August 2010. At this time, Ryan was still legally married to Scarlett Johansson, and Blake was in a very public, long-term relationship with Penn Badgley. By all accounts, Blake and Ryan hit it off immediately, with behind-the-scenes sources recalling that their chemistry was palpable. During press tours, their flirty interactions were impossible to ignore. Fans and journalists alike commented on how natural and effortless their banter seemed. But officially, they were just co-stars, nothing more. Then comes October 2010, and suddenly, Blake and Penn break up. The timing is already interesting, considering that Green Lantern had finished shooting just 2 months earlier. But what makes it even stranger is that Penn later admitted that their split had been kept quiet for a while. Was this just a way to protect the show's image? Or was Blake already interested in someone else and didn't want the headlines to connect the dots? Fast forward to December 2010, and Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson make a joint public statement announcing their separation. They carefully frame it as an amicable split, saying that they still hold love and respect for each other. But behind closed doors, things may have been much more complicated. Over the next few months, something odd starts happening. Blake and Ryan claim they were just friends, but by early 2011, paparazzi start catching them spending an unusual amount of time together. They were spotted together in public and at private events, sparking rumors that something was happening behind the scenes. And here's the real kicker. According to journalist Kat Marnell, US Weekly was preparing to break a story claiming that Blake and Ryan had actually hooked up in a hotel while he was still married to Scarlett Johansson. But before that story could ever go public, something strange happened. The article was killed. Why? Because according to Marnell, Ryan and Blake's teams allegedly stepped in and made sure it never saw the light of day. By July 2011, Ryan and Scarlett's divorce was officially finalized. And by October 2011, Blake had already moved into Ryan's home in Bedford, New York. Keep in mind, this was just a few months after Blake had ended a brief fling with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's almost as if she and Ryan were just waiting for the right time to make things official. So let's recap. Blake and Ryan's relationship supposedly started after their breakups. Yet, Green Lantern was filmed while they were both with other people, and sources recall that their chemistry was undeniable. Both Blake and Ryan's previous relationships ended in suspiciously close succession. Rumors about them hooking up before Ryan's divorce were completely shut down, allegedly by their PR teams. And within months of Ryan's divorce being finalized, Blake had moved in with him. Now, maybe this is all just coincidence. Maybe their official story is 100% true, and they just happened to fall in love at the perfect time. But in Hollywood, timing is everything. And when you have the power, influence, and PR muscle that Ryan and Blake do, narratives can be shaped, rewritten, and controlled. So here's the big question. Did Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively manipulate the timeline of their relationship to protect their image? And if so, what else did they do to keep the truth from coming out? Now, this is where things get really interesting, because while the timeline alone raises plenty of red flags, there's one piece of evidence that could change everything: a deleted tweet from journalist Kat Marnell. And if what she claimed is true, then Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't just clean up their image, they actively suppressed a scandal. The tweet in question, which has since been archived, made a shocking claim. Fun fact: Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds hooked up when Ryan was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during the Green Lantern. US Weekly had discovered this, and their beauty editor would tell us this at events. But Ryan and Blake's teams threatened them to kill the story. Let's unpack that for a second. If this is true, it means that Ryan and Blake didn't just get together after their respective breakups like they claimed. They allegedly had an affair while Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson. And not only that, but they also used their influence to bury the story before it could ever make headlines. Now, before we go any further, let's acknowledge the obvious. This is, at the end of the day, a tweet. Kat Marnell, while known for being an insider in certain Hollywood and media circles, wasn't the original journalist who investigated the story. Instead, she was repeating something she had allegedly heard from a beauty editor at US Weekly. So, does this count as direct evidence? But does it fit perfectly into an already suspicious timeline? Absolutely. And here's what makes this even shadier. US Weekly has been known to break major Hollywood cheating scandals before. They were one of the first outlets to expose Kristen Stewart's affair with director Rupert Sanders, and they've been behind some of the biggest celebrity scoop stories of the past 2 decades. So if they were sitting on a juicy scandal about Blake and Ryan, why would they suddenly drop it? Well, that's where the power of celebrity PR teams comes in. Because in Hollywood, there's an unwritten rule. If you have enough influence, you can control what makes it into the press. This isn't just speculation. There have been countless documented cases of publicists shutting down stories that could harm their clients. We've seen this with Justin Baldoni's recent PR disaster, where leaked texts showed how his team carefully crafted media narratives to protect him. We've seen it with Jennifer Lawrence, when hacked emails revealed the behind-the-scenes power plays that shape how stars are portrayed. And we've seen it with A-list scandals that mysteriously disappear overnight, leaving fans wondering what really happened. So, did Ryan and Blake use their power to kill the affair story before it ever reached the public? If so, it wouldn't be the first time a major Hollywood couple rewrote history to protect their careers. And there's one more thing to consider. Why would someone lie about this? Kat Marnell wasn't trying to sell a book. She wasn't trying to break a new story. She was simply tweeting out something she had heard in media circles years after it had supposedly happened. If the story had no basis in reality, why would a journalist remember it so vividly? And why would she delete the tweet so quickly after posting it? If there was nothing to hide, why erase the claim at all? This is where things get dark. Because if Blake and Ryan truly used their industry connections to silence the press, then we're not just talking about a messy relationship timeline anymore. We're talking about a calculated effort to bury the truth and maintain their image as Hollywood's golden couple. But how far does this control over the media go? And if this story was shut down, what else have they kept hidden from the public? And there you have it, the suspicious timeline, the deleted tweet, and the Hollywood PR machine that may have helped Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively rewrite history. But what do you think? Was this just a case of overlapping relationships and convenient timing? Or did they actively work to bury the truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love deep dives into Hollywood's biggest scandals and hidden secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. More celebrity exposés are coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them.